Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Give me 1 second here. Just going to update our X post. X seems to be okay. Says that it posted it. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. All right. And what we've got coming. Here we go. This way, the X post looks good. And we're live. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Got my flash trade merch on. If you got some at Breakpoint, that'll be awesome. I'd also like to say here in Miami, we have coming up the new conference, Accelerate. I think it's always Accelerate when it's in the U.S. But welcome to Flash Hour. We're just going to ramble on here for just a minute while everybody floods in. Flash Hour is where we go over everything that we got done last week, everything that's coming. We also do a little segment in the beginning so everybody can flood in, get caught up on the Solana ecosystem. Just quickly, some interesting facts about things that happen. Super easy, super fast, and hopefully entertaining and enjoyable. And then this week also, we have the monthly recap for last month. So we'll go over kind of milestones that we reached, things that we did. So look forward for that as well. Bringing in the co-founder. Drum roll, please. Anas. Wish we had some music. I could throw some music in here. Anas, how you doing?
Oops. DM everyone. I think I was muted. So yeah, I hope I'm loud and clear now.
Loud and clear.
Yes.
So, yes, getting right into it. GM, by the way.
Yes.
The state of the trenches.
Oh
So,
my
state
God.
of the trenches. We, very first one, unfortunately, is the Iran war. I'm sure everybody saw it. I'm sure the markets. The interesting part was I actually just thought Monday would be a absolute bloodbath on open, but it wasn't. So it looks like it was already kind of baked in.
Priced
I would
in.
guess.
The most
Or priced in.
interesting thing was to see crypto, predict what was going to happen around
Yeah.
this takedown of Iran. And, that is whatever happening is very sad. But the most interesting part is like before we never had this sort of relation with what's happening out with the outside world. But now with all the offerings that we have at Flash and other exchanges, people can now speculate on assets direction while things are going haywire in the real world. So people can make money, or depending on if they want to hedge, they can hedge. I also saw in this interesting idea or post about people basically buying this prediction on poly markets thing where Iran would go down or a war would happen, because it's much easier for at least Iranian people to buy these options on prediction markets rather
Yeah.
than buying insurance, because it's not possible for them to get any sort of insurance.
Yeah.
But instead of that, what they are doing is buying these trading these markets.
Yeah.
So that the sad part is, even if something bad happens, at least they get some money from it. So
Yeah.
very interesting use case is what I would say. Like, did you imagine this, Max? Like, I've seen some
Oh,
people from Iran doing this right now. Like they saw this
I can
coming up and
imagine.
they actually bought that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's it's insane. You have to hedge your. I mean, I get it's life, but it's insane. You have to hedge against a war breaking out in your country,
Yes. So I
and
think
that's
that's
essentially what that is.
yeah, that's very interesting use case of on-chain products overall,
Yeah.
that we are able to offer these sort of things no matter what is happening in the world. But yeah, I think this is where finance evolves. Like, people want to safeguard their future, and a permissionless on-chain protocol would basically safeguard their rights in this direction.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Immutable rights. That's
Yes.
something that I am a huge proponent of. What's up, real-time engineer?
Yep. I
GM,
think
GM.
Zeb is still catching up, I guess.
Hey
Yeah.
everyone. Hey everyone.
Just
I hope
getting
I'm
back
audible.
into State of the Trenches. You are audible, sir. We can hear you.
All right, perfect. Not much to add just yet, but yeah, here.
No worries.
The crude oil prices jumped 13%. That was predictable for sure. The
No,
Strait of Hormuz
actually,
being
it was
closed.
not predictable, Max, because last time when the Venezuelan takedown happened of Maduro, we thought crude oil would crash because there is huge supply, but nothing happened actually.
Yeah, they didn't stop shipments, so that was the major
Yeah.
kind of catalyst that really didn't affect the crude oil markets
Yep.
because
Yep.
it's all speculative. So when crude oil, obviously if they would have stopped all shipments from Venezuela, it would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Would have shot up.
Now,
But now
yeah,
with the Strait of Hormuz being shut
yeah.
down,
It's
yeah,
like
that's pretty
80% of
scarce.
the supply
Yeah.
is routed through that specific strait. So it's very interesting, like we are running an exchange that is directly, anything happens around the world, you have to keep your eyes open.
You
And
do.
yeah, I think that's what finance is all about. Like if you are able to extend, the use cases beyond the crypto measure itself, that's where you are actually serving real purpose of an exchange. And that is the direction that we all are taking actively.
Yeah. This actually has to deal with also, I'm hoping, obviously, this will be tokenized in the future, but like all future products and things like that can all be settled like in real time. Because if you ever deal with this stuff on centralized exchanges, everybody like, I don't know if they just don't realize it or maybe they've never done it, but they
That is what
don't settle
yeah,
like
that
it
is
does on
what
chain.
Ondo is offering right now, and
Yeah.
we are working with them to offer these equity perps. So the tokens are issued in real time from the broker, and you can burn it in real time with the broker. So there is no on-chain liquidity or AMM for you to swap and have these issues with liquidity or slippage. You are directly interacting with the broker, which has an account with the exchanges where the real assets are traded.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what you're essentially talking about, the real-time settlement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Ondo real-time settlement mint and burn is very unique, which is obviously, I know we had a lot of internal discussions about that. That's why we went with Ondo in general. It just allows for a much smoother integration than really anything else out there. No, shade to anybody. It's just Ondo came up with a really, really cool implementation. SoFi enables the native soul network deposits. So this is a national charter bank. Like that's, again, we're getting to the point where things are getting be sick. Because like imagine if you had a stock that did that. They have like this 2-day window. The bank's got to approve. There's all kinds of shenaniganery that goes on in between. There's all these intermediaries. This in real time. Let's say it was a stock, it would be a nightmare. With Solana, it's literally with SoFi, it enables native soul network deposits. And I think this will just expand. This will grow for, very, very quickly. Once other banks kind of see the power of it, they're going to want a slice of the pie. So, but it is really cool to see the first one done with SoFi, which is a Solana native company. Solana Payments has a new unified hub for Solana Payments, payments.org. The only reason I wanted to bring that up is because we are kind of getting to the point where AI and agents are becoming a real thing that can be utilized on chain. I already know that this is very prevalent. I just unfortunately heard some nightmare stories about their agents going awry, but but those are always fun. But a lot of people are using them via TTE or TEE wallets from Crossmint and all these different, and they're literally deploying their agents to both purchase things through X402 and balance their portfolios on chain or all these different things. So this is going to become more and more of a narrative, whether we like it or not. Agents
No,
will be the main
yes,
mechanism on chain.
I think they just need a good set of rules set that they have to add, which is basically skills or the different
The
MD files
policy.
that they have, policies. And
Yeah.
once you have that sorted out, I think blockchains would be the best place for AI agents to at least use it as rails for settling any economic activity. Because if an agent can never KYC because they don't have any human identity, so
Yep.
and blockchains don't require a human identity, so I think
Yep.
that's where the use case goes. I think I posted about it like 3 days ago, where I think bug bounty is a very interesting thing, where any open source repository or any project that is very big, they can put out different sorts of bug bounties, and people who are running this massive open source agents or any sort of agents that are running on their machines, they can basically
Yep.
direct their power to solve those bugs, and these guys can settle the payment using crypto rails
It's so
permissionlessly.
insane.
So yeah, that was like an
Agents
interesting.
helping other projects secure their projects.
Exactly,
Wild.
exactly, and
It's
get
true
paid
though.
on
That will
chain.
become a thing.
Yes, and get paid on chain. Like you don't want to know who's behind the agent. You just need your problem to be solved, and that's it.
Yep. Super, super awesome. It's definitely the future. I already see it happening. If you haven't heard of OpenClaw, do yourself a favor. Maybe don't download it to your local computer. Heard that was really dangerous, FYI. But the OpenClaw is super cool. It allows for that autonomous agent. But there's a lot of funny stuff. They created their own Reddit, and then that was like a big thing. I don't know if you guys followed that, but that was hilarious. The OpenClaw agents created their own Reddit and then started talking to each other, and it was like a whole thing.
I think
Solana,
Claude
did you see
itself,
that?
Claude itself is trying to create what OpenClaw has. Now, many of the features that OpenClaw offered is actually being offered in the Claude ecosystem itself.
Yeah,
So yeah,
not open source.
not
Yeah,
open source.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously they can't be. I mean, that would be probably destructive to their own business model. But Solana RWA market cap hits a new all-time high of the 1.71 billion. Every week we are pounding the table, letting you guys know that RWAs are coming. They are real. They are here. They are definitely disrupting the crypto market in general, pulling liquidity towards them. It is definitely the path forward, is that we are not just crypto. We are the market. We are going to be the final settlement layer for all things tradable. Seeker Claw. I also added this in there because I'm getting a little obsessed with AI, to be honest. Seeker Claw enabling less than a 1-minute AI agent deployed on your Seeker phone. So that's cool. You can literally set up an open claw, or what they're calling Seeker Claw, from your Seeker device, which is really cool. I'm assuming that you can fund it and all that good stuff too. So Pipe Network, this is going to become the Solana CDN, which is the open source accelerator layer, I guess, for block delivery. This is pretty important, but this is more like infrastructure stuff. This will again help further Solana's mission of becoming everything on chain. And then Printer
I
launches
think
the MCP server. Go ahead.
The Pipe Network CDN thing is actually quite interesting, given we've had a lot of problem with the read layer on Solana getting any better. And with client bifurcation and the kind of diversity we have seen, I think this is a great approach at solving the read layer and making it faster. This is more or less, we've had a lot of talks around shred streaming. I think Helios, Triton, all of these RPC providers have dedicated services, but looking at it from a CDN perspective and having that broadcast faster than how gossip travels between validators, how gossip networks operate, how Turbine operates on the Solana network layer. I think Pipe Network has got something good going on there. So it would be interesting to see how this scales. Right now, I don't think there's a good use case for applications, but validators are going to have a boost in terms of reducing latency in serving data. So this is definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's a big step forward. It's content delivery network, if you are unaware. And then Zahib, if you could give a brief overview of CME Group, of just what a CDN is, why it would be beneficial. Again, not so much for like applications, but more for the validator layer.
CDNs are essentially the kind of distributed networks which hold your or are fast at distributing data. Imagine Twitter, X now, or YouTube, or any of those forms which have like a huge chunk of data that needs to be distributed and available in multiple regions, so that people don't get to kind of wait and have buffering videos or loading posts.
Yep.
CDNs are what accelerate all of that for you. Solana, also being a distributed network, needs to distribute data at the speed of light. And essentially, every time you see a blog being produced, you need to propagate it. You need people to vote on it. And I think that needs a lot of improvement. Alpenglow and all of the future improvements that are coming forth in terms of achieving consensus faster depend on actually sharing that data or getting the data across to as many nodes as fast as possible. CDNs are just going to accelerate that in a form where you don't have to kind of follow the hop networks. You can have
Yep.
a CDN network that's already distributed. People are already connected to it, and then you can broadcast something on the network, and then it's available faster than having to kind of go through the gossip loops from
Yeah.
validator to validator. So it kind of
Exactly.
reduces that element of latency, and I think that's an interesting use case. Like we've been trying to kind of improve our read layer through shred streams and listening to gRPC streams directly from validators.
Yep.
But this is a step forward, and I think soon we're going to have application layers built on top of it to allow like that instant feel of sending a transaction and seeing the confirmation on the click of your button. So
Yeah.
interesting.
It's kind of like a bypass. It's like its own little layer instead of like hopping through all these different layers, right? And that's where like all that latency comes in. It just literally up, over, and directly where you need it to be. Because they do have like their own node network and everything else that goes in with like a CDN. But it's really cool. I was just reading up on it before I jumped on. So seems like they are definitely pushing forward, and they have the backing of Solana Foundation. So that's a great development. The printer MCP thing, it's pretty cool. It's just essentially allowing, again, the autonomous creation of tokens by an AI agent. So that will probably kick off some sort of new thing that's, I hope it's not like a meme token thing again, but agents creating things and using tokens. So, and obviously monitoring them. So all through MCP, which is definitely the preferred right now for AI agents. Camino crossed 1 billion in total RWA. So again, just that RWA narrative kicking up again, which Camino is an amazing offering of Ondo and X stocks and everything else that you can trade there for RWAs, as well as FLP. Sunrise hit 660 million. This is literally just a shout out because a good friend of mine, Ed, who works at Sunrise, who is a excellent marketer, funny guy out of Korea. He's killing it over there, and they have brought, essentially what they're doing is they're just taking non-native Solana assets, and they want, their job as they see it is to bring all assets to Solana. So anything that they see that is not available on Solana, they specifically target and bridge over. They're actually the ones who brought hype. So
We use that hype.
Yeah, and we use that hype. So just wanted to give a shout out to the Sunrise team, doing a great job. You're killing it. All right. And now the monthly report. Now the problem is that that's so small. It's really hard to read. So I'm going to have to pull it up here on my screen. But the monthly report, if I can get to it quickly enough here. There it is. Sweet. All right. So monthly volume hit 448 million. So it's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. It's obviously not our best. Markets are struggling at the moment, especially crypto markets. The raw P&L, 40 plus K. Total fees earned in USD is 278K. So holders on Flash Trade and those who participate in LPs are still crushing it. FAF stakers revenue, 42K. All right. So So FAF stakers, if you're unaware, if you do hold the FAF token, you can stake it on the Flash Trade platform and participate in RevShare. Phase 2 deployed for Margin Engine V2. Phase 2.
Yes.
You want to
The
go over
flu
that?
Yeah, the flu mechanism that is live right now, which is basically powering silver trades and pool 3 as well. Now if you check, the pool 3 is very different. It has just 3 assets, which is hype, jup, jito. Rest all other assets are basically using Jupiter as collateral token to be traded as perpetuals. So this basically gives LPs much more better exposure to the assets that they love, and while allowing people to trade with more different assets that have correlation, but they won't get the price relation for the LP. So that is a new mechanism that is live right now, and yeah, it's printing.
Yeah, it's doing exactly what it's designed to do. Thank you, Zahib.
Exactly.
The flu mechanism is super interesting because there's like which I believe Solana with the new SIMD proposal, it's going to be raised, I believe. But there's only so much that you can do with so many assets in like a pool because of compute units. And as you add more and more and more, obviously you're going to reach that limit faster and faster. So it starts to degrade composability elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, right now, composability is or the limits around number of accounts and the number of accounts have increased for composability with SIMD 339 going live just a couple of days ago. But the problem is transaction size isn't increased yet. So there's a different SIMD, which is 296, the yin and yang that we always spoke about, right? Like 296 and 339. So one of them is in. We're waiting for 296, and fingers crossed, maybe in a couple of months we have that live. So that's still being a blocker for us because we can't exceed the transaction sizes, even with all of the shenanigans we already do of having lookup tables, of compressing the instruction size to the lowest possible limits. So we have got all of those stuff, but I think it's going to come in with a lot more improvement as 296 also goes live. That is transaction V1, kind of it involves a lot of changes, which is why I think they're slow with it. It kind of deprecates a few older instructions, priority fee and compute unit limits. All of those go into transaction headers instead of being independent instructions. So there's a lot more interesting things that come forth, and I think that will enable us to have about 50 assets on a pool, not be limited to the current numbers that we have got. And I think with Flow, that's going to be interesting. Like you just have a few handful of assets. Maybe like pool 3, you have the limited 3 or 4 assets, and then you can trade the top 40 or 50 tokens by market cap on the same pool. So that's super interesting.
Yeah. That's the great part about
that kind of adds on to the. Absolutely, and with magic blocks, I think this is going to be thrown out of the park. So yeah, this interesting developments coming out, and yeah, we're all prepared for it. And yeah, Flu also kind of the phase 2 for margin engine deployment. I think also had the idea of allowing denominations of different currencies, and now we have the CNH and JPY markets on Forex. I think they're doing pretty decent volumes, and they've been garnering good interest. So yeah, we've got all of these market structures at our disposal, and they're gonna just improve.
Yes, I think one more thing that we really want to highlight is about Pool 2 used to not perform that very well, but since we added gold and then since we added more Forex pairs with higher leverage of 500x, it's actually up more than 20% in value. So LPs who basically put in money at the beginning of this year now are up more than 20%, and I'm not sure any of the crypto asset has been up 20% in the last 2 months or 90 days. 2 months or so. So yeah, so basically the diversification angle is going very fast, and we are expanding more assets so that people in crypto are able to get much more exposure of the outside world assets and make money for themselves.
Yeah, Flu is definitely performing as expected, and it allows us to be much more condensed about what we have in the pool, so we don't have direct exposure to particular assets in the pool. So it's actually better for LPs and better for traders. So it's a win-win on both sides, which is rare. Sometimes you have to have a trade-off. But we did add inverse JPY, which is the Japanese yen, and then or yuan, and then
And Chinese yuan. Yeah.
and Chinese yuan, and they're
Yeah.
both inverse.
Yes.
You're gonna have to Google that. It's essentially the inverse of just trading a currency against the USD, but it's like
Yes.
the opposite. So took me a minute for my brain to wrap around that, but it's pretty easy once you kind of get it. And then Hype Market was also listed. We did upgrade to the latest Anchor version as well. That offers some more security, I suppose, is probably, and of course, just general compatibility. Made improvements to the Privy SDK and spot limit orders using Manifest Trade. That is the coolest. We showcased it last Flash Hour,
Yes.
but
And now it's live.
Now it's live, and it is the coolest integration. So it allows for swaps to be, put into a limit order, and then that limit order executed, as Anas says. It allows the market to come to you instead of you having to worry about it. And then, of course, it also
And no
allows
fees.
no fees. I was about to say, and of course, it allows for no fees. Although, there are options on other platforms, they are fee based. So on Flash Trade, it's completely fee free.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's live right now. Click to Pro mode, and then you will be able to see, once you hit limit order or limit on the screen, you'll immediately see that you can place your limit order. You can do that right now.
Right now.
Let's see, improve. Oh yeah. Yeah. So basically we're just making optimizations across the board. If you haven't realized that, it is getting extremely fast. All mobile issues that we used to have in the past, they're completely squashed at this point. I think it's kind of a moot point, actually, just because it is so fast, especially if you have a modern phone. Seeker phone's performing extremely well also. So all those things, I typically utilize it on mobile anyway. So added time vesting linear unlock to FAF staking. Yes. So we had a proposal that went out that we discussed in Flash Labs. If you're not in there, you do have to have a certain amount of FAF staked. I believe it's level 3. And then you can get access to Flash Labs. But we had a proposal that we hashed out, and we came up with a different structure for FAF staking. So now it's a linear vesting schedule unlock for FAF staking for about 3 months or 90 days. So now if you want to unlock, you get that linear unlock schedule. Change to pool 3 flew based on native assets. We already discussed that. And then the address the Remora migration. That's actually, we're going to cover that here in just a second and what the plan is. So I'll leave that. Everything else, the magic block integration is going very smoothly. Zahab is on it. Trust me, he's the one who engineered the flu mechanism. So we have full faith and trust in our Zahab. Our what was it? What is his tagline today? Our real-time engineer. Let's go. All right. Moving into the next segment here, which will be the crude oil at 50x leverage. So that actually went up, did it not? Enough?
No, it's live. It was just, we used to do an overview thing, right, for every week. So right now, as we see, Flash is the only place on Solana where you can trade crude oil with up to 50x leverage while things go haywire in the real world. So that was just a highlight.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say, I think we're still the only platform that offers it. Am I wrong? We are literally, yeah. So if you are interested in the Strait of Hormuz and you're following news anyway, just saying. Let's see. Now, what did we get done this week? Got a lot done, actually.
Yep.
Two big, massive restructures. So
yeah, the first thing was the pool 3 revamp. Pool 3 was getting hammered by many assets that were having a very high FDV, and LPs were not happy, and we were also not happy internally with the performance of FLP3. So we restructured it with assets, DeFi assets that make real money and are valuable enough to bet on if you are betting on DeFi. So now there are only three assets in Pool 3, which is Jito, Jup, and Hype, and there is nothing else in the pool. So if you believe in these assets, it's much more easier to mint FLP3 and get exposure to the price action of these assets rather than buying them individually, because historically FLP3 as an index outperforms holding these individual assets. That is what we have also shown through the fstats page. So yeah, FLP3 has been fully revamped. We basically had to change the backing, collateral backing for other assets that we have. We had Pith, 2Z, Meteora in our pool, and those were basically replaced by Jupiter as collateral. And I think we delisted 2Z as well because we didn't see that much amount of volume going through it. So a major revamp went into making this happen. And yeah, the next thing is the spot limit orders are fully live. The feature set, it's actually a very huge feature set, because
it's massive.
If we speak right now, there is no place as such as FlashTrade's UI where you can trade fully on-chain spot limit orders with the best UX possible, and that is powered by Manifest. So yeah, it actually took us quite a while to build this, although it doesn't look that much for people because they might be accustomed on different chains. But on Solana, this is the only place where you can trade spot fully on chain on an order book and have this seamless experience without paying any fees. That needs to be highlighted, because we are literally paying fees to keep this dashboard up. It does cost some money to keep all things in sync. So yeah, now. And the most interesting thing about Manifest is, like, if you put a limit order on Manifest right now through Flash's UI, and the price comes to your order, literally all the aggregators, be it Jup, Titan, DFlow, all of them will race to fill your order with no fees, basically. So yeah, I think that is something that we really worked hard on, and we are looking to basically improve the UX and make this much more accessible and easier for a lot of people to trade on chain using limit order.
Yeah, this is just the smartest way to trade. I mean, if you have to buy spot because of some reason, maybe it's like you
buy a big bag. Imagine if you want to
buy a big bag, but it's like, why not ladder in? Why are you going to buy right? You just dump it all right there. You're obviously not going to get the good price. You're going to get massive amounts of slippage. So if the price, if you're trying to rush is what I mean, and the price is hyper volatile. So why not throw in a limit order, get the best fill, get it at where you wanted it, let the market come to you. Don't try to, don't over trade is the other thing too. That's probably just general good advice. Don't over trade as in jumping in and jumping out. All right. There you go. Back to this. And then the last part go ahead.
Yeah. The next important thing was Remora basically closed down due to their internal problems with they had some treasury which got sniped by North Korean hackers, and they had issues with operations, and they resorted to closing their protocol, which we used for equity perps on Flash. But we are thankful for the Remora team to be working with us closely to make things close down smoothly, because Remora assets were basically issued by the team, and they held the custody of USD with their broker, but they made sure everything was smooth enough. All the Remora assets that FLPR had were smoothly swapped out for USDC, so that anyone who deposited their money into these pools could withdraw their money in USDC. So we are very happy to make this thing happen very smoothly. And it was a task overall for the dev team to make this thing happen as well. So shout out to the team. And now next thing is, we have seen insane amount of equity activity happening on Flash, the perps. they had good amount of demand, and our idea is now basically to use Ondo, which has an endpoint which it exposes to protocols where they can directly mint and burn the equity, asset itself, the on-chain asset. So it makes much more easier operations overall, because before, when we used to work with Remora, we had to tell them to mint X amount of asset or burn it for X amount of asset, because they held the admin dashboard to mint and burn. But now Ondo has created a system where anyone who's willing to, KYC with them, they can create the dashboard and make the mint and burn, essentially 24 by 5. You can mint any amount you want. So that is a very, very big unlock for us, because moving forward, if we want to balance the pool or bring in more assets, we have a direct connection with the broker right now. So yeah, that is coming. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Ondo for the GM markets, the global markets support that they have, where anyone can start being a brokerage for the tokenized Ondo assets. And I think we're also going to be on the list soon while we work on it. But yeah, like that's a super neat structure compared to all other alternative tokenized equity platforms out there. I think another thing that we would want to touch on over there is the flu mechanism back in spotlight again. We want to have SPY collateralizing all of the trades. So you're literally trading the top 5 or 6 assets in the S&P 500, and all of it is backed for the LPs by the index itself. So it's super interesting to see that, and I think that is what we are also looking forward to carry on to the ephemeral rollout approach as a first. So super interesting details on that coming your way.
Yes.
Yes.
The last thing is
details.
yes. So we had some amount that were unclaimed by the Beast NFTs. So there's about $95,000 worth of unclaimed Beast NFT USDC that should have been claimed by these NFT holders. So we gave them the period, a dashboard. Now we have no idea if these beasts are gonna be burned, because I don't know where the holders are. So we are basically removing this liquidity from the vault that used to burn NFTs and claim USDC, and put it back as liquidity for FAF, because we've seen a lot of people complaining about FAF having no liquidity. So yeah, that is the idea. But stepping back to tell where this USDC actually came from. So when we did the Tensor launch, we raised about $1.2 million, and then our whole promise was to give back this $1.2 million to the people who bought the NFTs. And we are thankful enough to that we were able to make that much amount of revenue and give back to our NFT holders who believed in us. And we actually gave about $1.3 million, and I think that $100,000 is coming from that side. So I'm very happy that things have went in the direction that we really wanted, and things are growing as well. So that is where this thing will be changed. We are still yet to decide where the other half of FAF liquidity would be coming in when we provide liquidity, because we just have USDC. We don't have that much amount of FAF, although we might have some FAF that was left that was to be added into liquidity. But we will look into it, and if there is a possibility, we might buy some FAF to provide the rest of the liquidity, 50% on the AMM side. So I think that is the things that we have covered so far this week.
Yes. And the what is coming, my favorite section here, is referral restructure. I know that some people had been using the referral program. They had given us some feedback on it, and essentially we came up with a new plan. It's just, there were so many things already in the pipeline, but that is definitely something that we are looking to revamp and restructure to make it more beneficial for individuals to refer to the Flash Trade platform. So look out for updated docs, as well as plans to come out here shortly. Magic block implementation.
Yep. I think we had some interesting conversations happening on X yesterday as well, where people were
I was
basically
going to
telling
bring it
that
up, but I wasn't sure.
no. Where people were telling the single sequencer approach is not good. But to be honest, there are a lot of people who have not studied distributed, networking systems, where basically it's a very important subject that when you do engineering and electronics or electrical stuff, you are basically taught. And although I skipped it, to be honest, Zoeb did it very well. But yeah, although I did attend
There's
some
a great CS book on that, actually. That
distributed
if you're
networks.
looking for one, reach out on distributed systems.
Yes, sir.
Well, like the whole exchange was quite positive, and I think I'm due to kind of finish up the article comparing the architectures, and I think I did ping Gabriel about it, and yeah, I think that was a good nudge. Gabriel, or the CTO at Magic Blocks, that guy knows systems a lot better than we do. We've been studying the whole approach and building our systems around it. But I think what people don't understand is calling Magic Blocks ephemeral rollup a single sequencer is just wrong. It kind of just skips over all of the detailed
very hand washy. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Like it's not a sequencer who's just scheduling its own transactions. It's literally copying the bytecode from mainnet. It's blocking any state updates on mainnet. Single sequencers don't do that. If you look at Hyperliquid or any of the other systems out there that follow that methodology, Magic Blocks is completely different. Like the whole state management, the route for state updates, all being connected to mainnet or the base chain, is just beyond what any current systems replicate. So it's a novel approach, and we've seen how gaming applications are able to use for it. And the reason it took us so long, like it's been an year or longer that we've been building on it, talking about it in public, and it's just improved our learnings over time, and that's what builds trust. And I think we've seen the system evolve. They've been doing their best at maintaining the systems, improving efficacy, improving their availability across regions, and there's a lot more. Like it's not a simple engineering feat to just get across and be confident in migrating your systems between ephemeral rollup and the base chain. But the amount of improvements we've seen over the stack, and the detailed or the super peculiar attention to detail from the Magic Block team is reassuring. And that is what I think a lot of teams are missing in this space. Throwing dirt on any other system is like of no use for us. But yeah, there needs to be discussion. There needs to be a lot of accountability to be held when people advertise something that's physically challenging the laws of nature in some form. That was what the crux of our discussion also was.
Yes.
I think people can go in, look at the documentation, look at the stuff that's being released, and form their own opinions. But it's a healthy debate overall. We've seen good amount of to and fro between the design engineers on different fronts, and our approach is unique. We are not just challenging the idea of building this sidecar implementation or using ERs. We're also fundamentally different in terms of the underlying design. We're not a club, and we don't want to be a simple club. Even if you have to have order books implemented in the future, they are more or less going to be built on top of the pool-to-peer multi-asset pools that we've got supporting trades right now. So that would be an interesting outcome to see, how different approaches come together, and yeah, like blatantly outcompeting Hyperliquid, I think is not going to be an easy thing. You can't just do the same thing with a few tweaks on the engineering side and call it a day. That is where I think we've held to our concept of having this multi-asset pool-to-peer matching engine. We've worked so hard on margin engine v2. We've proved it over time, working with the constraints on mainnet. Like we've had everything against us: the transaction size limits, runtime limits, transaction landing latencies, us spending everything that we've got to update prices every slot. So there's a whole lot that goes in running things on prod. So I think that experience has made us a lot more aware of the upcoming challenges. And I think, our approach is novel in its own sense, and we've got the right confidence to keep pushing for it. And yeah, you would be.
I think overall, the experiences in the market count a lot, and then you understanding the subject of distributed systems is also very important, because to be honest, like when you have a distributed system across multiple nodes, it will always take you more than 200 milliseconds to basically get to consensus. That is the physical limitation of your location overall. You can never overcome that, even if you're watching Netflix, YouTube, anything. There is this physical limitation, and then they use this CDN structure that we were just discussing to offload things, so that when you log in from your location, you are at least served faster rather than connecting to the mainframe, which is much farther than you. But when you're talking about matching engine will always remain in one place. That is what we essentially discussed as well. Like if you talk about Binance, if you talk about Nasdaq, if you talk about LMX, if you talk about any big exchange that is currently live serving trillions of dollars, you will always find the exchanges at only one place. And then there is infrastructure. And then there is infrastructure
hundreds
upon
of
that.
millions of dollars.
Yes, that basically serves to distribute what's happening on that box.
Yeah.
But the box itself, if you try to replicate that box at multiple places, it's done so.
Yeah.
So
I think MCP and a lot of other novel things that Solana is looking to solve.
See, so I'll tell you one thing. Like we still don't know the architecture of MCP. Like the final thing that they want to ship.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're MCP. Yeah.
That's interesting, because I think we've been having discussions on MCP for 2 years now. It was Breakpoint 24 that we first kind of floated the idea. Max Rensick was not at Solana back then. I think that is where the original idea started from. And I think it takes a lot of inspiration from the EVM setup. But yeah, totally on it. And yeah, that seems to be a probable solution. MCP plus proposal builder separation plus Alpenglow are going to improve a lot, but consensus is something that kind of still is elusive in terms of finding it probable to build a block within a 120 or 200 millisecond time frame and then distributing it across. So I think there are going to be a lot of interesting improvements in the distributed network space. But for now, as a DeFi application, I think it's difficult for us to bet on speculation, and more imperative for us to work on proven solutions.
Let's also talk about this. Like even if we get MCP on mainnet, our parallel scalability will move faster, right? Because our chain where we are posting things and we're getting the state from moves faster, then everything works much more faster for us, and the security wise things get much more better for us because the underlying chain is updating faster than it should be.
Absolutely. And let's say at some point we figure out that, okay, the sidecar thing or the elastic compute thing with ephemeral rollups is not working well, you revert everything to mainnet. You're back to base chain like nothing happened, and everything works. So the ER not just offers you this.
That's what I was trying to say.
It's not just cutting latency; it's also providing an improved UX where you can offset all transaction fees. We become the payer for all of your fees. You don't have to worry about having Sol in your wallet, which I think is kind of a big deal. That's a huge deal. And that's what allows us to kind of not just be happy about our engineering feat, but also the UX improvement that we can push it with. So you can just have users not even knowing what Solana is, not even knowing what a wallet is. Just connect with your email on Privy, get your wallet, get on ramp with USDC, bring that onto Magic Blocks, and then you can trade. And that's the good part of this is not just a solution focused on engineering feats, but more on revamping the UX. And I think Jupiter is also kind of hinting at JupeNet at some time soon. You're gonna see something. So there's a lot of good stuff across. So
it's gonna shake things up.
We are pushing the hardest we can to kind of get it live and get it into the hands of people. And I think we're getting closer every week. And next week we're hoping to have a lot better news.
Not to revamp the whole thing, but just in short, what some people are doing is they're doing like a validator, a slick down, stream down validator. They're souping up the actual hardware, They're unfortunately, some of this is probably going to be rather centralized for a trading exchange. Maybe that's not, that's pretty much Hyperliquid in a nutshell, built from like the validator all the way up through the stack. So that helps obviously with speed. But what Zahib just pointed as what I was trying to say last time, but I really just did, I kind of gave up because I didn't really have enough time, but he just explained it, is the fact that you can't really just automatically bridge from that to like mainnet all of a sudden if something goes awry, or if or if potentially your solution then ends up being obsolete. You're kind of stuck, and having to re-engineer everything very, very quickly. So the implementation that we have is something where, correct me if I'm wrong, Zahib, but the big thing that we can do is we can actually just get right back onto mainnet, if for whatever reason we would need to. So
Absolutely.
it's a huge, huge deal that, trust me, a lot of people are not, forward thinking in the way that how easy that would be.
One thing that I want to add here is like that is the system that every layer 2 solution as well as sidecar solution always should have. This is basically called exit strategy. In case your sidecar has any issues, you should always be able to come back to main chain, so that everything, the state and all that stuff remains decentralized and people can exit hatch from all the things if they want to exit. So even if you were, for the people who might have studied lighter as well, they use Ethereum as their exit hatch, where if things go wrong, they will have, but they will close down their exchange. But for Flash, the exchange won't close down; it will just move.
This is the point. That's way beyond. Like, it's not just an exit hatch. You can just have the system running just as is, that it was running on the ER backend based chain. Yeah, it needs a few admin bumps for sure to kind of get the Oracle pricing and all of that stuff sorted. But yeah, you can just have a migration over a few minutes, and then you're back on mainnet with all of the positions,
crazy.
everything being live and operating just as is. So that is what actually is taking a bit of time for us. Like, okay, how do we figure out the compatibility? How can we make sure that we don't compromise our existing structures? We have the structure running on the ER in parallel. And yeah, results are impressive, and I think they will have a lot more to share in the coming weeks. And Magic Block's team is also kind of shipping day in, day out. We had a few
really are
moment feature requests, which they've thankfully entertained in a very good way. It's also helping them push out a few stuff, I think, on the payments API that they're building. So yeah, a lot of stuff firing on all cylinders. I think really excited to see what's coming ahead.
Yeah, they're killing it. Magic Blocks is doing such a great job. Huge shout out to Magic Block for literally just ear to the ground, paying attention to what we're doing, making sure that they are, I mean, obviously it does complement them because it gives them a different perspective from an exchange, right? So then they're able to kind of understand the needs. So that obviously is a huge benefit to them, but it's complementary to what we're doing as well, because they're able to custom tailor and make things that would be specific for an exchange. Because I know their original focus was more games, more like gaming infrastructure, because they did come from some sort of gaming background, if my memory is serving me correctly. But enough on that. Seeker campaign is coming up, and we're gonna 1-2 punch the Seeker campaign. We're gonna kill it. Seeker campaign. I don't know. Can I talk about what we're gonna offer, or no? Is that all right?
For sure, you can talk. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted to save it for the crescendo moment, but day one, what we're gonna do is we're going to be offering Seeker phone holders a way to claim a funded wallet. So anything that you make past the funded wallet amount is all yours to keep. Anything you lose, that's our loss. So that's, one of the ways we kind of field tested, I guess you could say, was Trade Wars. So if you were able to tune in and watch this goofball on Trade Wars, shout out to all the participants. I really appreciate it. I know they took their time to do that. But Trade Wars was a lot of fun, but that was kind of the battle test moment for that funded wallet feature. And this feature can be rolled out for all kinds of other things. And this is another moment where that funded wallet's going to come into play. So the Seeker campaign, Seeker phone holders will be receiving or can receive, if they claim it, a funded wallet on their phone. So that'll be really cool for everybody who is in this Seeker phone community. Thanks to Zahib, I have both the Saga and the Seeker. I'm kind of a weird. I'm real weird about that. I want to collect things. I'm one of those weirdos, but mainly around technology. I don't collect really anything else actually, but everything else I pretty much have like 5 shirts. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my videos, but I don't wear very much other than that. But Seeker phones, that'll be a really cool campaign. We're going to showcase all the different features that are available on the Seeker phone throughout the week, so that each iteration you kind of get to see what Flash Trade offers, and it spans out all the different feature sets throughout the week. And then we'll end it with a potentially a live maybe showcase, if I can figure out how to do it from the Seeker phone. That'd be really cool, like cast it onto StreamYard, but we'll see if that can make that happen. And then pool or gold pool on Carrot Finance. Did discuss this last week, but the gold pool, and I had a few questions just I wanted to address here live. So if you are on Carrot Finance, now the reward distribution is directly on Carrot, and it's no longer earning voltage points. So just did get a lot of inquiries about that, so I just wanted to address that. You can actually claim it directly on the Carrot platform. We just found that to be a much better, user experience, that you can go to Carrot, you can manage your position, and then claim your rewards right there instead of having to hop around or bounce around. So we decided to make that design decision as well. Anything else you wanted to add to that?
I don't think we have much. We're just working with Carrot Finance to get the gold pool leverage, get gold pool on looping up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just replying someone.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. So we look for that to go live. It's not live yet.
It's
Only
not live.
FLP 1. Yeah.
Yes.
So FLP 1. So that was it. I apologize. Correction. It was not about the gold pool. It was about FLP 1. So yes, all rewards are on the dashboard.
Yes.
And thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Whether it's on mobile, desktop, YouTube, or X, or on my personal account, we appreciate you tuning into Flash Hour every single week, all 158 of you. I really, really, really do appreciate it. You showing up and showing out for the Flash Trade team. Obviously, we put in a lot of work every single week to make sure that we bring you the latest and greatest. We put in a lot of work for our transparency on fstats.io. That was one of our missions, to be as transparent as humanly possible. So, I mean, that right there is just one of those, a lot of people like the monthly report, but they really wanted it to be kind of a live place. So now we do have fstats.io, which is a really awesome resource. If you wanted to dive deep into the protocol, you can get all the information that you need there. And if you can't find something, or if something's not available to you, super easy, reach out to us on Discord. We will make sure that we add it to the Flash Stat or FStats platform within a moment's notice. All right, it might take a day, but we'll get it there. Zahib, Anas, did you want to add anything to that rambling?
Not much else. Just keep an eye out for a lot of interesting stuff over the week, and we'll see you next Monday.
All right. Alrighty, everyone. So again, just a little recap. If you just tuning in right now, Ondo Finance is going to be the new equity stack that we have. FLP2 is performing extremely well with the flu mechanism. Again, just a monthly recap. Flu was completely deployed, so now it is live on Pool 2 and on Pool 3. It allows us to have or offer a lot more assets that can be available per pool. So if you wanted to learn a little bit more about the flu mechanism, it is in the docs. I can post that down below, or you can go to docs.flash.trade. And it is live there now if you want to dig a little bit deeper. But thanks for attending Flash Hour as always. Get involved, get into the Discord community, follow us on X, subscribe on YouTube, which is probably going to be like somewhere right here ish. Leave a comment, do all the social media stuff that helps us get more engagement as, get the good word out there for Flash Trade. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, as always, traders, I'll see you in the markets.